great when I was first doing the model and stuff, but now the fucking lights. Hey, how you doing, everybody? How the
What's
fuck is everybody today?
yeah? What the hell's going on here?
Wait a minute, I shouldn't be laughing, right?
You can laugh.
I don't want to. Wait a minute, I shouldn't be laughing.
Oh, I'm turning this down.
So, are you ready?
Whatever, do it. I just love that beat, man. I just love that beat. Nice.
Amen. Yes. Just praying for a good Raider season.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think you will
Yeah.
have one.
Yeah. So that's Chris.
Man, there's Jeff over there somewhere.
Oh,
This,
yeah.
yeah, somewhere.
So welcome to the Grumpy Old Man Show. So how you doing today? I know it's been a minute since we've been on during the week, during the day,
Yeah,
together on our own show rather than being on someone else's.
yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Not really much happening anyway in Red Nation besides the rookie mini camp and all that, but
Yeah, I don't get excited for that. Yeah, they're out there in helmets and shorts. Good job.
Yep. But you
Okay.
know what?
Yep.
I'm hearing from
these what it is.
From hearing from the newsbeat writers, it's a different vibe there. They're really locked in. Pete Carroll's out there throwing a ball, playing man-to-man coverage, doing backpedaling. So it might look good, but that's only in the camp. Let's see on the field.
This is like daycare camp right now. You know, they schedule activities. You know, they do arts and crafts. You know, shit like that. This is like beginner shit. You know, get everybody rolling, see how they feel, see who looks good, who's fat, who needs to lose weight, who needs to be in the weight room.
Right.
You know, who's light on their feet. You know, footwork, the basic shit.
Yeah.
You know, this is where you find out how coachable some of these guys are. You just drafted.
Basically, they get acclimated to this how we're going to run things. This is what we do in camp. So just get your body ready, get your mind ready. This is going to happen every day during training and practice.
And get used to the weather in Vegas too, because that's a different beast in itself too. Especially in these kids that came from an East Coast, Northeast school, or Midwest shit like that. So let's just check in with the chat here real quick. I guess we have to do that. We have to do our due diligence.
That's mandatory.
Gord is in the house. What's up, Gord? Says hi to both of us.
Hey, Gord.
Chris is here. This guy. PNW Mark, what's going on, man? How you doing today? Welcome. Panda's here. What's up, Panda?
Hey, Panda.
Misconstructed. What's the play today, fellas? We don't know.
I don't know.
You just
We're just two
wanted to
old
get
grumpy
on.
men. Just two old grumpy
Yeah.
men going to talk some crap, and whatever comes up, we just talk about it. Yeah, that's all.
Wanted to share the screen today. What's
Not
up, Rorschach? Did you guys see we cut the last regime's players and brought in new guys?
no,
Yes. Amari Burney was let go yesterday. Wilkinson was gone. The
that
wide
was
receiver
shocking.
Wilkinson.
That was shocking to cut Martin Birdie, but hey, they brought
I'm
in.
not. What's he done?
Well, he played better
Yeah.
the last couple of games, but
See you later. Okay. Haven't
yeah,
done
but
anything. Bye bye.
they brought a couple new running backs in, so like you don't need you back.
See ya. I don't get attached to players. Sorry.
I don't need him.
Pigs is here. Good day, Chris, not Mutt and Jeff. Okay.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm not but today.
He's a
No,
grumpy mutt.
now I'm hurt now.
Yeah, I don't know. I know some people get all excited for, the rookie training. Yeah, it is what it is. Talk to me in the middle of July when the actual real training camp starts and they start getting out there and hitting, and let's see what goes on there.
Yeah, when they put the pads on, let's see how they perform. Because remember, these are
Yeah,
young adults against grown men. So let's see how they deal with Max Crosby and JPJ and all these veterans. See how they deal with it.
let's see how these young defensive tackles and linebackers fare going against our offense and Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers.
Right.
Let's see how they do there.
Because basically they're playing the college guys. So the guys they played against in college, they're playing against the same guys. So it's not like they're playing against these veterans. So we'll see.
Let's see. How do you guys feel about the linebacker room now and team as a whole? I'll let you go first. What do you think?
We'll see. I mean, they let go of Martin Burner, which I was a shock. But hey, like you said, old news is back. Oh no, get rid of him. He didn't do anything. As far as the linebacker, they brought in somebody else. I'm trying to find out who it is. You guys know his name. Let's see. Besides Devin White, they brought in a couple more guys.
Well, they signed that other kid who was here before.
The Jalen Smith. They signed him.
Yeah.
They brought somebody else to see who does it. Oh, a guy named Wesley Steiner. Never heard of him. I don't know who he is. So they brought a couple linebackers in.
Well, there was somebody they brought in too that played in Seattle when Pete was there too. I forget the name. I saw that yesterday.
Was it Steiner?
I don't know. I don't remember the name. It's obviously it's nobody huge. It's just it is what it is type of thing.
Yeah, it's a cap body for right now. To develop that linebacker room. Let's see Steiner.
So Pig goes. I think the rookies. I think see the rookies alongside JPG. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see these. I want to see one of these two offensive linemen that we drafted, hopefully make the starting roster. Even if it's in a rotational situation to start and then works his way in, just like kind of Glaze did. Nobody was expecting Glaze to come in and start, and then once he started, that was it.
Yeah. No, Wesley Steiner is a Washington State Cougars linebacker, so he's a rookie, so he's not the guy.
There was someone else they brought in too. I forget who it was. Panda says, very interesting to see the DBs versus wide receivers. I think that's the biggest group outside of offensive line versus D line. That will be interesting. I agree because with what we did in free agency and the draft, we brought in some hitters. We brought in some big dudes in that secondary. So it is going to be interesting to see how that works. But I don't know if they're going to do a practice scrim against. I know they used to do it against the Cowboys. I don't know if they stopped that now after that last debacle because they had another huge fight.
Well, that was the Rams too. They had a big fight too. So
yeah, that's what it was. It was the Rams last year. So I want to see them up against another first team offense. Obviously we're going to see it in preseason games, but I want to see the competition against our wide receivers too. how they're going to do. But it's not going to be the same because they're not going to go so hard on him because you don't want to hurt your own guys either. You
Yeah,
know?
that's true. And that's the fear of the scrimmage because they get in a fight, somebody gets their jaw
Yeah.
broken or something happens, and then after the
Or
season,
bust their eye socket like Romanowski did.
push.
Yeah, Jalen Smith, that's the name for that one. Rorschach says, I'm at work, fellas, grumpy old men, so I will be listening mostly. We'll try to contribute. Well, we appreciate that.
Thank you, Rochelle. You always good. Always good. Thanks
Chris
for that.
hit the thumbs up. Yep.
Thanks, brother.
Who do you think starts at DB for us and wide receiver? I honestly think Besh is going to
Best gonna
start.
start. I think
I
so.
think Thornton is going to be in the mix too, right from the get go.
But
Just
check this
because
out.
of his size and speed. Why would you sit that?
Check this out. Damian Porter, the quarterback, they had him also playing wide receiver in the mini camp, the rookie mini camp. Yeah, they had him playing wide receiver because he was a wide receiver before he transferred to CB. So he can be one of those, can play
Like
both
a hybrid.
Yeah, he can go in receiver, he can go in at cornerback. So that'd be a good.
I think he's going to be good in that secondary to begin with because he's another hot hitter. You know, I see him starting without a doubt. I can't see him not being a starter in that secondary. I mean, Palomaro is going to be back there. You know the secondary better than I do.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I'm hearing from some of these news beats, right, that Pete Carroll's is really working with Damian Porter on his backpedaling. Because Pete Carroll's out there backpedaling with him, showing how to backpedal more efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, Pete Carroll's DB coach, so he knows DBs. He's working with DBs exclusively today or yesterday. So he's working with them exclusively, like working with all the DBs they brought in.
So that's the show and tell part of the daycare mini camp. So yeah,
pretty much.
Arts and crafts is when they put the stickers on the helmets and put their helmets on their heads. So that's the arts and crafts.
Yeah, so how to wear their helmet properly, how to put their cup in, and how you pull your socks up. Just little simple things.
Yeah. This is how you put your pants on. One leg, left leg first, right leg first.
One leg at a time. But make sure this is how you tie your shoes properly.
Yeah, we don't use Velcro here, so you're gonna actually tie them. That's reserved for the peewees and for the old guys like me and you.
Who you calling old?
You are older than me.
I'm old and grumpy. That's right. I forgot. Sometimes I feel that. I don't feel that way. How do you guys?
What's up, Teddy? Teddy goes, "How do you guys feast?" Don't know.
We don't know. I haven't seen anything yet.
So Panda says, "Chris, you're saying we got our own Travis Hunter?"
Maybe he was playing wide receiver today or yesterday in the camp. So you never know. Because Kelly has all kind of schemes in his head. He's like just salivate, like what can I do with these guys?
Well, that's just it. I mean, he's looking at this, buffet of players he's got on this roster right now, and talk about feasting. He's sitting there looking like, all right, how can I use this guy? How can I use that guy? What can we scheme for this one?
Do the evil science thing that the evil scientist did the other day when he's in the room, like.
Yeah, sort of like let's mix a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He's definitely going to be like a gourmet chef out there. Hopefully, with the talent that we brought in.
He got weapons, so he's going to use them.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not be as an offensive coordinator walking into this team and already you've got the best tight end in the league last year, Brock Powers?
Yeah,
that alone, you could develop your whole offense off of him alone. You make him the focal point, and everything else just branches off like a fucking tree. You bring in other guys that are serviceable that can do a good job to help take the pressure off of him. Oh, good God, forget it. Lights out. Let's get this thing going.
And then you got a quarterback who actually can throw the ball and can move around.
And that's the other thing too. And now you got a running back that, if he's as good as everybody says he is, there should be no learning curve with him other than just learning the playbook. Obviously he already knows how to run the ball. He's already got field vision. Because if he didn't, he wouldn't have done what he did in college.
Exactly.
So let's hope that translates into a successful season. Everybody's got their own take on how many yards he should get and you know how we should use him and everything. Guess what? It's not your call. It's up to him. It's up to
I
Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll how they use him and what they do with him.
Everybody expecting to get 1,600 yards rushing and all this that passing. I was like, look, it don't have to be all that. If he
Yeah,
can be productive, like what I want to see is that last thing at the end of the stats, touchdowns.
yeah,
How many touchdowns can you guys give us?
yeah, yeah.
That's what I
Turn
want to see.
turn turn this shit into touchdowns. Like Brock Bowers, I want more than 4 touchdowns from him or 5 touchdowns this year.
Exactly.
We didn't use him enough in the red zone, but granted, we didn't get to the red zone a lot either.
Nope.
Because
If
our
you did,
offense was so inept. I mean, when
if you
you're running
did,
2.3 yards per carry, what do you expect?
if you did go red zone, we run a shotgun play. Like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, Panda, I was too. I wanted us to trade out of that number 6 spot, grab an offensive lineman later in the first round, and then come back in the second round for a running back.
Yeah, I wanted
So
more
I
picks.
wasn't happy when we picked Genty, but they redeemed themselves in my eyes on Friday night once they grabbed those 2 offensive linemen. It's like, okay, now I see what they're thinking. Let's get this guy now, and then we'll build around him. We'll solidify those two because really the only spots we needed on the line were the 2 guard spots. So if one of those guys fits into it, if Kappa comes back and has a decent uh, training camp and is slated as the starter, even if Mumford's in there at the start before one of these other rookies come in, I think our offensive line is going to be pretty damn good.
Well,
Not great, but they'll
at
be good.
least, at least we got options. That we got more options than before, and we got more depth than we had before.
Yep.
So if one player's not performing or he gets hurt, we got somebody to replace him that won't take too much of a big hit. So at least we got that playing for us finally.
Yep.
Who are you
Yeah, I
calling
heard
grumpy?
Michael Mayer was out there too. What's up, Robert Pena? How you doing, brother?
Who are you calling grumpy?
He said my 2 favorite senior citizens.
Well,
I'm not
thank
on.
you.
I'm not getting. I don't get the senior discounts yet. He might.
Oh, I do. Shoot,
Yeah.
I go days to get that $1.99 meal all the time.
What's the cutoff age? What's the cutoff age on that? Like, what age do you have to? Do you have to hit 60, or is it a 55 or older?
It's 55 or older.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, one more week, right?
I got a week today.
Well, there you go. Then you
So
walk in
1 week from today,
you
I'm
go,
at 55.
you can walk in with their ID like, yeah, senior citizen discount.
Panda says, I agree, Jeff. Same here. I wanted Ted McMillan, but we got my guy, Jack Cooper, Betch, and Dante. So I was happy. Yeah, okay. I get you. I see what you're
They
saying.
compare it back to Cooper Cup. That's what they're comparing them to.
Robert Pena, I have it. It's a big, so we're going to knock it off.
Oh.
All right. So I want to kind of get into this a little bit. I know it's been beaten like a dead horse. I kind of had my say yesterday, but now I'm on my platform along with Chris. Now I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say about it.
Awesome.
Derek Carr. Yeah, he was great for us. Yeah, he was here. He gave us longevity at the quarterback position, something we hadn't had for a long time. Was I upset when we let him go? Yeah, and the way we did it was just ridiculous. That you don't treat a guy that was here that long, that was truly a Raider, like loved this team, loved the city, loved the fans. You know, a huge family guy. He wasn't out partying all the time and causing havoc and doing stupid shit. He was never in the news for doing something dumb.
Right.
He was a leader of this team. No two ways about it. Whether you liked him or hated him, he was still the leader of this team. Do I think he's the greatest quarterback of all times for the Raiders? No.
No.
Statistically, yeah, he's got everything in the statistics category as far as yardage, completions, all that stuff. I get that. He could never win us the games that we needed him to win, like to get us into the playoffs. Or when we got to the playoffs, couldn't stay healthy. Well, obviously, you break your leg. There's not much you can do about that. But could never play in a playoff game and get a win. Never push us to where we needed to be. I know yesterday was getting pushed around. Chris and I were on another show at one point yesterday, and they were talking about it. And subject came up of, do you put him on the Mount Rushmore of Raider quarterbacks?
I can't.
Okay, well let's start this. So if we're talking Mount Rushmore, we're talking four faces.
Mhm.
So automatic number one is Stabler. I mean, there was nobody greater than Stabler as far as just look at his win percentage during those years with that team. Then you got to put Plunkett in there next.
Definitely.
Plunkett obviously was here short term, but was extremely successful for the system that he was running at the time. Got us two Super Bowls, MVP of one.
Right.
The next guy that I would put on that list would be Gannon. Gannon was one of the better quarterbacks, statistics, and up here, smart wise,
Yeah.
that guy was. You want to talk about field generals? He's the type of guy that was like a field general out there. He could run that offense, no questions asked. Didn't need a coach to tell him what to do. He was just that smart, football smart. Took us to a Super Bowl, won an MVP for the season. Wasn't here long enough. Was prior to coming to us was basically a journeyman quarterback.
Yeah.
Um, so there's my three right there. Do I put Carr at number four?
No. I
Well,
get the guy.
your other options are guys like George Blanda, Daryl LaMonica, and that's about it.
I
Because
put Lamonga got to go on there because he started the whole thing to me. Blanda
yeah,
was more like a Swiss Army knife. He did punting, he did all that stuff. So I don't put him
yeah,
as a
he played
quarterback.
quarterback. He was also the kicker for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Um, if I am going to put him on the Mount Rushmore, it is a close decision between him and either LaMonica or Blanda. Um, but I'm not walking in and saying, "Oh yeah, he's definitely on it." I would have to go back and look and see what those two guys did compared to him. Can't touch them stat wise, but as far as what type of games they won, how successful they were, wins and losses during that time frame. Because Derek Carr didn't leave here with a winning record.
No, he didn't.
Our record was horrible in that time frame.
And the fact of the matter is that if he'd have played in that New Orleans game and we would have beat New Orleans, he would have lost to every team in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah,
Every
yeah. By default, he got lucky. He was injured and couldn't play
yeah,
because he would have lost all 32 teams in the NFL.
yeah.
So
But
that's not a stat you want. So
no. But other than that, I would tell you, Coach, you got the four Mount Rushmore quarterbacks, right?
and
So
yeah,
you know,
Robert, it was McDaniel's being a dick.
if you walking around Rushmore now, they had a welcome thing, you walk into the gates and all that stuff. This is what I would do. You can put Derek Carr on there. I'll put a statue of him and Blanda out there in the entrance. Welcome to the Rares Rock Munchmore. It's like a welcome. We'll put him there. We'll give him a statue, but he's not going to be on the face of Mount Rushmore because he did do great things for
The
us.
little statue on the side.
A little statue welcoming everybody in, but he did do
So your
great
Mount
things for
Rushmore
us.
is going to be three guys and a little statue.
4 guys in a statue, 2 statues. But he
I'll
did
tell you
great
right now,
things.
if you were doing a Mount Rushmore of overall rate of players, he ain't anywhere near that Mount Rushmore.
No,
Absolutely not.
no, nah, I'm not
Not
talking about,
even close.
I'm talking about the Raider roster.
No way.
I'm talking about the Raider.
Absolutely not even on it.
I'm talking about the Raider Mount Rushmore. I ain't talking about the all time, but
Yeah.
I'll
Does he
give
go
him his
down as
dips.
one of the Raider greats?
I'll give him his dips.
Maybe. Yeah. He ain't going to make the Hall of Fame.
Nah, not even close.
If Plunkett's not in yet, I don't see Derek Carr's chances of making the Hall of Fame.
No,
Absolutely not.
he won't even sniff the ballot box, man. He's not even nowhere near that. I mean, he played 9 years with us and accomplished not too much of anything. He have a losing record. 1 MVP. That's no. Did he? No, he was a runner up to MVP. He never got it. Never got it. He was runner up. So nah.
Fuck you, Jason. But hi, how you doing?
Hi, Jason. Welcome to the show.
Candace says before the leg injury, he was trending towards being great, but I give DC his flowers for what he's done for our team. I thought it was his time. It was time for him to go, but the way we did was, yeah.
Was crap.
I mean, I get it. I mean, I always liked him, and I supported him towards the end when there was talk of him being let go, and then obviously the way that it was like, are you shitting me?
what he
How
did.
I mean that's Al Davis, Marcus Allen shit. That's what that was. That's the same thing Al Davis did with Marcus Allen. They just couldn't get along and they just separated. But that was the owner and a player. This was a head coach and a quarterback that had given so much for this team, didn't want to go. He was contemplating retiring at that point because he wanted to replay his entire career as a Raider. It's a guy
Right.
that wanted to be here. How many players in the past can you honestly say they want to be here during those dreadful years?
Dark
He was
days.
like one of the only
Not too many.
ones.
Not too many players. Some players sometimes want to hurry up and get out of here. They got free agency. I'm out. Bye.
Yeah, yeah. Even if we offered them the world, they're like, nah, goodbye.
Man, I'll take a pay cut and go
I'm
somewhere else.
out.
I'm not playing for this.
Thanks for the 4 years I've been here. Bye bye.
Playing for the trashy team where you guys was a bad organization. You guys were rent bad. Now I'm out of here. I'm gonna go play for a team that has a chance.
What's up, Bueno? DC is the record holder for passing yards, right? Yeah, he is. Yeah. 40 something thousand. Well, no, 30 something with the 37,000 with us, I think it was.
Oh.
He's on mine just because he's in my era, but then again, I haven't seen many QBs outside of Pryor, Russell, Flynn, and Jason Campbell. Yeah, true. I get that. I understand that. If it's stats, Carr is there. If it's by performance, I have Hostetler ahead of Carr. I said that last night yesterday on that other show. I damn near got fucking decapitated when I said that.
You sure did. You sure did.
I was like, shit. I'm like, okay.
You almost got banned from human society.
Jesus Christ.
Like, wow.
I've got Carr on his own tier. He underperformed relative to his and his offense's cap hits. Yeah, definitely. Carr was a great company man. He was certainly honorable. Raider Paul, what's up, brother?
What's up, Raider Paul?
Yeah, and then you're gonna have guys. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with him. I mean, he was bad at some points. Then you'll have some like Raider Paul that'll just say he was just awful. He really wasn't awful. I mean, he had his moments where, like his fumbles out of the end zone. That seemed like that occurred at least 2 or 3 times a season.
Yeah,
where he would fumble at the goal line out of the back of or out of the side of the end zone or out of the back of the end zone, and it will cost us. It's shit like that you that's a coachable thing, but that's up here. It's like you got to protect that ball, man. Stop doing this shit. You've got a history of doing this shit. Knock it off.
Yeah.
But I mean,
well, like you said yesterday, every quarterback is not perfect. There's some things that you can work on. He just kept doing the same things over and over again. In practice, you should practice not doing that anymore, but he still kept doing it. He will sit there and take a sack. 2nd down and 3. He's throwing the ball. You'll take a sack and lose 10 yards. Dude, throw the ball away. When he throw the ball away, he started doing it later in his career, but he's like trying to make something happen and take a sack. So,
what's up, Raph?
What's going
on, buddy?
What's going on?
I mean, I respect Carr for what he did for us while he was here. So it is what it is. I mean, you look at how many coaches he did go through in his time, offensive coordinators and head coaches. And it's almost a similar situation with O'Connell. O'Connell's had 4 different head coaches, 4, maybe 5 different offensive coordinators now. A jumbled up offensive line, a shitty running back room this past season. Before, Josh Jacobs was here, but the whole team was in disarray, because halfway through the season, McDumdum gets fucking shit canned. AP takes over. They go a whole new direction. They put AOC in as the starter, and he benches Jimmy Glassropolo, and then it just turns into still another mediocre at best season. Well, but it ended with giving you high hopes for this past season, the 2024 season. But
that's why I was so excited. Like, we're gonna do good this season, but. Then you bought in Telesco, changed the whole dynamic of the team, got cheap. They want to pay players. They want to sign Josh Jacobs, none of that stuff. Now, what the hell? The whole thing. What the hell?
Panda says, "Oh, what pissed me off outside from the fumbles was when we needed a TD, and on fourth down he threw the ball away." Yeah,
I remember that play. Very, very familiar with that play. Like, good God.
yeah, and you're right too, Jack. What's up, Jack? Welcome to the show.
Hey,
You too,
Jack.
Pablo Escobar. What's going on? Yeah, defenses weren't the best either. We didn't have some of the best defenses when he was the quarterback.
Well,
You
like
know,
I said
so if
yesterday,
you don't have a good defense to support you, you know what
like
the
I,
fuck you
like I
gonna
said
do?
yesterday, at one point there was actually like 27 points a game for like 4 or 5 games straight. But yeah, we'll get 27, which is not bad in the NFL. But we'll give them 30.
Yeah.
We'll give 35, and teams always manage to beat us at the end with a last minute touchdown drive, not a field goal, touchdown drive.
Yep.
So what
I
can
mean,
you do?
we're still paying the price for when we hired McDaniels. Here it is, you know, over 3 years since then. Now, you know, we're still.
We
I
cruising.
it just boggles my mind that he took a basically a potential playoff team or a playoff team
A playoff team, yeah.
and just ripped it apart.
Yeah.
You know, just totally fucking dismantled it.
Yeah.
You know, he stuck with Koff for 1 year, and then he brought in his boy. You know, that's what killed me right there. Was when we let Carr go in the following season. It's like you think that's the upgrade from Carr is to bring in Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
That's not even a lateral move. That's not
No,
even like an even keel move. That's a step down in my opinion.
that's
It
like
was
that's
like,
that's like
everybody's like,
pushing
"Oh,
him.
he did great in San Fran. He didn't fucking kill a defense in San Fran. He didn't need to do much in San Francisco."
That's like
You
you
know?
pushing a car. That's like you pushing a car still in gear. She's not going nowhere with this, you know.
No.
Like, Jesus, dude, what are you doing?
Pushing him while the guy sitting in the driver's seat still got his foot on the brake.
Exactly. Like, get the
What are you
fuck away.
doing?
I'm trying to push the damn car.
I'll tell you what the Raiders do have on every team in the league, no matter what the players have. It's the nice looking jerseys and helmet combo.
There you go.
Yeah, the uniforms are pretty kick ass.
Yeah, they're tight.
What's up, Fat Sal? Geno Smith sucks. Uh, hey, he's the fucking starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't know what you're doing, so obviously he doesn't really suck.
I don't know if he sucks or
He's
not.
one of
Maybe
32 people in this world that are playing a pro sport and at quarterback, one of the toughest positions in the NFL. So,
I
yeah,
don't
he
know.
must really suck.
I don't know what
I
she's.
guess I guess everybody else is mediocre then. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
What's up, Marcus? What's going on?
What's up, Mark?
Hey, Chris. What's up, man? How you
Hey,
doing?
Chris. Salute, brother. Yeah. Yeah, he
McDaniel's
wants
supposed to
to
bring
bring.
in. Oh yeah, that definitely. Yeah, I knew that one too, but that's what I'm getting at. That was your backup plan was Garoppolo.
Well, Bray did say he's going to the
That
Raiders.
was the default backup plan.
Bray said he is going to the Raiders, but he says he's going to play for the Raiders. He's with the Raiders.
Yeah, he just came in as
So,
the owner instead.
yeah.
Oh, Pete Carroll loves Geno Smith. I mean, he resurrected Geno Smith's career, so that's why there's high hopes for Geno. You know,
Yeah.
because of his success that he had in Seattle under Pete Carroll. You know, and
They made it to the playoffs.
it can't be. Hey, let's put it this way: can't be any worse than what we've had the last couple of years. That's for damn sure. I mean, Jesus Christ. You know, I mean, I think almost anything's an upgrade from what we've
Anything
been
is
dealing
upgrade.
with.
I'm about to say anything's an upgrade compared to what we had the last couple of years. Like, what the heck?
Oh, unless we bring Fat Sal in there, because obviously he's better than Geno Smith. So maybe Fat Sal could be the starter.
That'd be nice.
Brady has always owned us. No, yeah, no shit, right?
True.
Fucking asshole. Oh, wait a minute. I got to do my Dunkin' Donuts plug. Dunkin' Donuts. This guy runs on Dunkin'. Dunkin' Donuts, contact me. Hit my link. Find me. My phone number's in there hidden. You can find it.
Yeah,
Gotta
don't
get that sponsorship with
soon,
Dunkin'.
soon get
Gonna put a
sponsorship.
sign right back here that says Dunkin' Donuts. Maybe I'll get a discount on the Wi-Fi from them too, instead of the
Yeah,
issues
don't
I've been
do it.
having.
Don't do it, Doug. As soon as you do, you're gonna dump me anyway. So what the heck? You don't need me anymore.
Told you, everybody's like, you finally okay with Tom Brady as a part owner of your team? Yeah, no. Um, like I've said though, if he still walked into this room right now, I'd still just once. I'll just punch him in the face once, and I'll be good. But I still hold resentment from the Tuck game. I'm sorry. I mean, I
Chris,
get it. Why would you in the middle of a game say, "Oh no, I fumbled that"? I get it. You know, it was a chance for them to move on, give them hope to win that game because we were winning at that point.
yeah,
You know, but it's like, come on, man. Why did it take you 20 years to finally admit the fucking thing?
yeah,
Like, get out
well,
of here,
it's gone.
loser.
Hey, Chris, yeah, I tried it, man. It's pretty good. So your next show will be brought to you by Wendy's new lemonade tangerine twist.
I thought he was saying that because you can go get the Wi-Fi from them too.
Nah, because
Chris, is that where you get the? Is that where you get your
no,
Wi-Fi
Chris,
from? You go to Wendy's and sit there
when
with your
Chris do his
laptop,
shows, when Chris do
put a
his shows,
green screen up behind you.
I was drinking on a strawberry lemonade. I would say this show is brought to you by Wendy's strawberry. So now I got a new one. Cool.
Could you imagine if that game was in Oakland and the refs pulled that same shit? I don't
They
think those refs would get out of that
they
stadium
won't.
alive.
No, they wouldn't. I don't think they would.
Seriously,
I think they would have did it
Vegas
anyway.
they would have a chance to get out of there alive. Oakland, that's a different story because the whole city would crowd them. It would be like fucking Escape from New York, you know, the old movie, or Escape from LA, where it's like
Yeah,
everybody's going to be hunting these bastards before they get
exactly.
out.
They can't
I
go to the
think
airport.
that's what
They,
would happen.
they could
You
go
know,
to the airport. They could go to the train station, and there was no Ubers back then. But they couldn't get a taxi
better get
ride. They
that hang glide
couldn't
already because that's the only way you're getting out of the city. You're going to have to hang
yeah,
glide across the bay to San Fran.
yeah, you got
Get
to
over
ride.
there. That's the safe city. They like you over there.
You better get on the surfboard, surf your way out of there because you ain't leaving here alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think back to that movie, The Escape from LA, just how cheesy the special effects were when he's surfing with Peter Fonda
Oh yeah.
when they're on the surfboards.
Look when
How
it was made.
fake the water
Look,
looks behind them, and they're like, whoa,
yeah,
going
but
down
back
like one
then,
of the drainage ditches. I'm like, dude,
but back then it looked great. Back then it
that is
looked awesome,
so
man. You
fake
talking about
looking.
it looked awesome back then. Like, look at that. That looks cool. But then now you look at now, like, wow, we were really
Oh
amazed
my
by
god.
that.
My OnlyFans is sponsored by Jack Daniels. When you want smooth, crisp bourbon, always drink some JD.
Well, I do Jack Daniels myself too, but I ain't watching OnlyFans. I'm sorry, Jason.
Now, is that JD Jack Daniels or is the JD drinking some of Jason Downs? Ugh.
Let's keep this PG, dude.
I think we all were going for sure, man. I've never been so miserable for
Man,
this team as I was during that era, during that regime with him. Oh God.
I was pissed off the day they hired him. Like, what the we doing? I was pissed off then, and I'm still pissed off they even did hire him.
You know what? As miserable as I was last year, and like I said, it was in 17 game season last year, 18 weeks worth of watching football. It felt like we played 28 games last year. It's like, is this season going to end? Please just end this season. Just can we just call a mercy rule and give us the losses for the rest of the way and just let's just end this?
Damn,
You know, especially
that,
after that Atlanta game, that Monday night game, that was
was,
dreadful.
my
I
God.
mean, you and I were on live that night with Turf, and we
We
weren't
weren't
even
talking about the
talking
game.
about the game because
No,
there
we
was
were just talking about other
nothing to
things.
talk about.
We looked at like, okay, yeah, we talked
Oh,
about everything, but no, that was who was
that
the
was
quarterback?
just
Ritter. Ritter was
yeah,
quarterback.
yeah. Because everybody's like, oh, he's going to get revenge. It's a revenge game. All right,
Yeah,
first of all, you're going to be able to play good to have a revenge game.
yeah, the Lions sure got
Oh
revenge on Ritter. They
God,
said we told you sucked. That's why we got rid of you.
that game was. I mean, yeah. Granted, I know the Panthers game sucked and we got beat up on that one, but man, that Atlanta game was just that was painful. I could at least sit through the Carolina game. That Atlanta game was just awful,
Painful
awful.
to watch. Painful. Like, dude, you gotta do better than
Like I
this.
said, the three of us, we weren't even talking about the game or football. We were just talking about anything that came up at that point. Like, I can imagine now. I know what it's like for these announcers at the actual games, like the guys that are on TV. When something happens and they have to fill airspace, I get it now. It's Jesus. You all right there? This door just slammed. I think because the windows are all open in the house, so the door just um it that was rough trying to just come up with stuff to talk about. At least during the game, if the game was going on and it was exciting, and be like, "Wow, did you see that run?" Her.
So
It's
what
like,
night?
"Wow, look at that handoff for half a yard."
Well, I think it was talking about Turf and his gymnastics daughters and stuff. We were talking about
Yeah, we
everything
were.
else but the game.
We
We were
were.
talking about everything but the game. We weren't even talking about the players, nothing. Yeah, it was that. It was that bad. But this season shouldn't be like that, I hope.
Oh, I can't sit through another season like that. And for my first year being on YouTube doing shows during this past season, oh, I'm already envisioning what this upkeep season could possibly be like when we get on and do shows. That it's going to be, you know, a lot more lighthearted. Hopefully, um, the shows will be more enjoyable because we'll have good content. Like it'll be upbeat. We'll
Give me
be
a
happy or happier, I should say.
yeah.
Whereas last year it was just negative, negative, negative.
Miserable. It was
It's just,
just
if this guy did this better, if that guy did that better, and Minshew sucks, and Getsy's horrible. We shouldn't have any of that this year.
I don't want no negatives. If we win or if we lose, if we lose by but we competed, okay, I'm happy with that. We weren't just like this ran steamrolled by other teams.
Yeah.
You know, we talk
Well,
about that.
this is what makes me optimistic for this year for sure. It's this just the stability in the coaching staff alone.
Yeah,
You've got a legit head coach that knows what the fuck he's doing.
exactly.
You've got offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, especially the defensive coordinator. It's a guy that's been here for a few years, so he's familiar with everybody.
Right.
That was already here. So you don't have. It's not like he's got to learn all these new guys and their tendencies. He already knows what Max and Kuntz and Wilkerson and the guys that are still here from last year know what they can do.
Yeah.
The one that's got the biggest challenge on his hands, in all honesty, is Chip Kelly.
No, I don't think
He's got
to
to start from scratch.
I don't think he has a challenge. I think, like I said, he's sitting in his laboratory like an evil scientist, man, just keep all kind of schemes up because he has he has weapons, but now we have weapons on our team that he can utilize.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he's still starting from scratch in a way too.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna run something in Ohio State. No, he's not gonna run that. That's a college run system. We're gonna run a different system here.
What's up, Rock?
Early?
Yeah, we figured we'd get on for a little bit and just chit chat.
Hey, Rock, we do shows early before, but then we kind of took a pause and started doing nights. But yeah, we did shows before early.
Yeah, we'll be doing more of these during the week, during the day type stuff, just to break up the day. I got to keep Chris entertained,
I am.
This keeps him anchored so he doesn't wander the neighborhood. You know what happens when people get at a certain age? They, may just start wandering.
All right. I'll let you slide with that one. What to do? Go out there like boy, I'll say, argue with the clouds. God dang it! Stop blocking my sunshine.
That's why his wife locks him in his he shed during the day so he doesn't wander the neighborhood and get in trouble.
Yeah, he calls it he shed. It's a Raider cave, but that's all right. You can call it.
Yeah.
I know.
Like a prison cell. It's got the little fold down door to slide the food into him.
Speaking of which, I'm hungry.
Dude, nothing was better than the other day when we were talking. We were talking about wives, and you started to say something, and you stopped, and you did that turn around and look behind you. I'm like, no one's in there with you. I mean, what, you still check. That lets you know right there that someone's married when they do that. You're talking about wives and girls.
Well, I didn't want to give up my secret of how to do the money thing. I think I was talking to Leo. Yeah. I don't want to do my give my secret money because she hears she's gonna figure it out. So I was like, look. Because the pool's right next to the shed. She might be out there swimming or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, she's right at the edge of the pool, listening with her ear to the closest to the shed.
Doing that
EF to the Raider cave.
Yeah, doing that EF button thing. Like, what's he saying? taking notes.
Do you need to explain that for some of the people in the chat? They might not know what E.F. Hutton is.
Well, okay, it's been a commercial back in the 70s, 80s. It was a EF. What
More
was
the
it? A
80s, but
financial
yeah.
advisor? Was it a financial advisor or some shit? And they said when EF Hutton speaks, everybody listens. Look it up on YouTube, you'll find it. EF Hutton.
So Rock says, was thinking about trading AOC and realized we haven't seen the best version of 12 yet. Keep
No,
that guy. It's hard to find a good QB, even a backup. Absolutely.
no,
I think he's one of the best backups in the league right now. Let's put it this way: if we didn't have him, like if we would have traded him away, so that means now your backup is going to be Bradley or one of these rookies we brought in.
huh?
How confident are you if Gino goes down that we can continue to win some games?
Huh?
Not me.
I mean,
With AOC coming in, oh yeah, we could
yeah,
definitely win games.
yeah. I feel confident AOC in there as a backup. Then, like I said, Bradley and Miller and
I mean, I'm not saying these other guys aren't good or aren't capable, but they're too new. You know, they need some time, especially the rookies.
well, we don't know what they're capable of. But like I said, AOC never got a shot at doing anything. You have multiple coordinators, multiple head coaches. Never was named a starter until somebody got hurt.
Wow.
You
Right.
know, so give him a chance. We don't know what he can do. We see what he can do, but give him a chance to actually play a game where he has to come in emergency. I'm not
Yeah.
saying he'll start this year, but he never got a chance to. He should have started last year. I don't know why he didn't. Well, we know why. It was that Telesco crap.
So Go says, me too, Jeff. I had too much PTSD from previous drafts where we neglected the O line. Everything turned out good. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that we at least addressed the O line. Would have rather we've addressed it sooner in the draft, but we still addressed it early enough. Basically, we didn't wait until the fourth or well, we didn't have a fifth round pick, fourth or fifth round to bring in an offensive lineman. We pulled the trigger in the third, and I'm glad we did. Jeff and Chris on at noon is better than watching General Hospital.
Well, thank
You
you.
still watch General Hospital?
Is that still on? I thought
I don't know.
So
Ask Jason because obviously it must be because he must be watching that sometimes.
wow.
Jeff, domestic difficulties, 1916 fits the vibe of this show. Jesus Christ.
Wow, we were that old, huh?
AOC and Genti is a must watch. I think so too. AKA
Well,
AOC
remember when AOC was playing with Josh Jacobs, how good the offense was running? He had a running game, but now,
Connell has done well given the situation. Would have had more confidence in him over Jimmy and Gardner. Oh God, yeah. He should have been
definitely.
the starter from the get go last year. We would have won more games, but then you wouldn't have the number 6 pick. We wouldn't have Jackie. So it's all that woulda, coulda, shoulda, what
Yeah.
if type scenarios. It played out the way it played out. We ended up with what we ended up
Right,
with.
right.
You know,
Yeah. People say
the only
tank.
way you're going to be able to tell the difference if you go back in the time machine and change things.
People say tank for Shadura. Say, why were you tanking? We just a badass team anyway. Well, who's your tank? We're not a tank. We're just bad.
I hated that talk. That was one. That was actually more discouraging to me than watching the team play shitty. Was when people were so on board with the tanking.
Yeah.
That just pissed me off.
Now Shadur goes to Cleveland, becomes a starting quarterback, which that's what they're saying now, and he lights it up. So be it. Oh no, that's one of the things. But I was on Shadur Sanders' boat in the beginning, but then I'm like, you know what? We need other things too. We need more
I
than
mean,
just
for so many teams to end up passing on him, it definitely made sense for us not to grab him. To be honest with you,
we had chances to get him. We had chances to get him, but we didn't.
We had 9 chances.
Mm-hmm. We had a chance to get him, but we
We had
didn't.
nine shots to get him.
And
I think that's what it was, something like that. I forget, but it was a lot. I mean, well, you were on the show with us when Jay was in there with us.
yeah.
When it got to 6, I was still nervous that we were going to pull that trigger, and I'm glad it was Genti and not him. And then when he fell to the end of the first round and the end of the night of day one, I'm like
Uh-oh.
shit, I'm looking at the numbers. I'm like, we got an early pick again tomorrow. Cleveland's got 2 picks before us, so we've got 2 shots at him going before us. And then when Cleveland didn't take him in either one of those, I'm like, son of a bitch. And then Jay's like, we could still take him. We could still take him. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
please, no. And then instead we went and we took the corner. And I'm like, okay, dodge that bullet. Then he got past the Steelers again and by Cleveland again going into the third. I'm like, son of a bitch, it's coming back around again to us. And Jay was doing the same thing. We could still take him. We could still take him. I'm like, no, please.
No, what killed me. What killed me is New York. I thought New York did need a quarterback at that time. I said, okay, he was in New York throwing to the other guy, that receiver.
You're talking about the Jets, right?
No, Giants.
Well, the Giants took Dart.
No, that was a saying though. That was a stab in the back because they needed a quarterback, and they didn't take. They sure was out there throwing to. What's that receiver name from the Giants? They drafted last year.
Malik.
Malik.
No, not Malik. No, Malik Neighbors is with
The Giants.
No, was it? No.
Malik Neighbors was the Giants.
Begins with a U, I think. His last name.
Well, anywho,
why am I drawing a blank on his name?
But I don't care about Giants who they have in the team. But anywho, who's throwing him?
You asked.
It was Malik Neighbors.
Okay,
yeah,
all right. So I was right. Okay.
Yeah. So he's out there throwing catch to him waiting for the draft and throwing no balls to him. So I figured like, okay, he had a giant little emblem on him and everything, a shirt or whatever. So I figured Giants would take him. I figured like, yep, he got passed by these teams. Who they take? Jackson Dart. That had to be a backstabber right there. I mean, his gut probably just sunk. Raiders Giants week 1. I don't know. But, I like, fine. But I don't think the Raiders wanted that attention in the locker room. I don't think they wanted that media attention and his dad getting involved. Why my son not starting? I don't know if his dad would do that or not, but you know what dads are.
Yeah.
Pop Warner dads and soccer dads and all the other dads. Why my son's not playing? He don't want the Raiders need that attention. Pete Carroll's trying to build a new culture in his locker room. We all one team. We all together. We don't need one diva on the corner, man. Pitching a fit. No, we don't need that.
I heard it's the Chiefs week 1, not the Giants.
Yeah, they're gonna play a rival week 1.
Huh?
How long you on for?
I was Mrs. Jeff, guys. You getting kicked out.
No, she just finished work and we got to eat and everything. They're already cooking. I can smell it. My son-in-law's cooking right outside my window here on the flat top. They're cooking breakfast for dinner. I can smell it. It smells so good.
Breakfast there?
Yeah, I heard it's the Chiefs. It's usually a division game week the first week for us. Traditionally is.
We played Chargers last year and then Duncan before that, so it'll probably be the Chiefs. But then again, they might save that game for a later date.
If it's the Giants, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because if it's the Giants, that's a home game for us too.
We'll see tomorrow. Yeah.
Too. Yeah, it's exactly what it was.
We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. I don't think it'd be
us in the Broncos. Not Broncos. There would be us in the Broncos.
They'll probably make that Charger. Speaking of which, they probably made that Charger Raider game a prime time game. Harbaugh against.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Tune in 28 hours from now. You'll know. Because 28 hours, the schedule's coming out. So,
the storylines with Pete Carroll being with the Raiders going to be Harbaugh versus Pete Carroll again.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
That's going to be a storyline right there. Against Reed and Peyton, it's not really much of a storyline, but against Harbaugh, it'd be a big storyline from their college days to their pro days back in the day. Big storyline. So
that's why I have hope that I have hope that this game against the Patriots, when they come out here, that could be a big push for that game too, because there's so many similarities, or not similarities, but there's such a storyline in that.
Oh
And
yeah.
here's the storyline: you got Pete Carroll coming back to play against New England as a former New England coach.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Tom Brady coming in with the Raiders as part owner, playing against his old team that he won Super Bowls with.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, you've got Josh McDaniels, former head coach for the Raiders, now the offensive coordinator. Mike Vrabel, former player for the Patriots, now playing, now the head coach. Two first year head coaches with on these two teams. The the bringing up of the Tuck rule, which will come up. I
Oh,
guarantee that will come
okay.
up
Those gonna come
without a
up.
doubt. That will be a topic, especially in the New England news. That will be all over the sports talk here. Um, and then you look at the amount of Raider players that are now playing for the Patriots with Spillane and everybody else that went over there and Chase on. And now we've got Jacoby Myers, a former Patriot that was here for a few years and did very well here. There's such a storyline with this that could make this game either a national televised game, which would mean it would be a 4 or 4:30 start, or a primetime game. There's that much of a hype that could be put towards this, and not so much for the Raider hype, but for the Patriots hype and what the crafts mean to the NFL and the fan base around here and everything. You don't realize how much pull Kraft has in the NFL.
Oh,
A
I
few
know.
competitions, he could very well. Now I know that's all up to the schedule is because you have to worry about concerts and soccer matches and everything else that goes on. That job, I that job would most people would have scrambled eggs for brains after doing that job because I've seen those guys on Good Morning Football. They talked about how what's involved in doing the schedule. Like the computer generates majority of the schedule, but then they go in and they have to manually realign and adjust things based on conflicts of schedule, and it's a that's all these people do for 24 hours, 7 days a week for like 4 or 5 weeks of just straight just schedule shit.
Yeah,
And
because
I'll
they had to talk to they had to go to each stadium, NFL stadium, and see what they have going on that day. Because sometimes they might schedule something a year ago, like you said, a concert or another soccer match or something like that, and they're not gonna move it because they're already committed doing that. So they got, hey, you guys got scheduled for? Yeah, we do. We got ACDC in concert this weekend. We can't do the football game, so they got to worry about all the aspects in that.
Well, a couple of years ago when they had those guys on Good Morning Football, they were talking about the conflicts that they had. The biggest conflict they had that year, I think it was 2 years ago, um, and it forced them to reschedule like 5 or 6 NFL games, was Bad Bunny with his concerts
No,
because he had already had his tour set up, but then added some dates to to some cities that he was in, and it fucked up the NFL schedule, and they had to rework a lot of teams to change the schedule around a little bit because of that concert. Because
mm-hmm.
they make more money with that concert than they will with one NFL game. That's the
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Because there's so much involved. There's so much more setup. So for them to say, "Oh, well, we'll just move it to another," no, the concerts end up ruling when it comes to that. NFL
Well,
takes
you
a
get
back seat.
for a stadium, say, 65,000, that's in the stands. But in a concert, they put floor seats. That's another additional
Yeah,
50,
and that's just it. You just increased your stadium seating.
15, 20,000 people. So it's not, instead of 65, it's 85, 95,000. So yeah, it's
Well,
more
look,
involved.
look at when they had WrestleMania there just a few weeks ago. So the stadium holds 60 something thousand, but they lose those seats where the entrance is, but they gain all those seats down on where the field would be.
On the floor, yeah.
So you got all those seats that are down on floor level around the ring. So they've still had like 70 something thousand people per show because I think that their final number was like 100 and almost 140 something thousand people for the two
Yeah.
days. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
You know, I know
65,000.
when they had it at there was an event that was going on at Cowboy Stadium, and they broke 100,000 because of standing room only because they got that special walkway area too where people can stand and watch the game,
Yeah.
and just everything else where they were squeezing people in everywhere to break that record supposedly.
Mm.
Like even the Coliseum in USC Stadium that holds what 105,000.
105,000. Yeah, easy.
That's a big. I've been to that stadium. That's a big fucking stadium.
It was built for the Olympics. That's why. That's
Well,
why.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
But
stand at that entrance and just look in. It's like, good God. Because when I went to see it, they hadn't made any renovations to it when I was there. So you got to remember, it's the football field in the middle, obviously, but then you got a full Olympic track that runs around the outside of that. So if you're sitting in the front row of the stands, you are way far away
yeah,
from the
you are.
team. It's not
You
like
don't.
in NFL stadiums now where you're sitting in that front row and the players are 15 feet in front of you. Over there, they're like 100 feet away from you.
Yeah, they
That's a
changed.
big space.
Yeah, they remodeled. They changed it, and they took
Yeah,
out.
I know they
Took out
moved this. Is the
they took
track still there or no?
no. They took out some seats on the by the torch. They took some seats out of there, and that's the one thing out there's bitched about the seatings. He liked a lot of crowds, but the seating. He wanted to put the luxury box in, that stuff. But the Coliseum's owned by the city of LA, and they say no. They will keep proceeding like it is.
What's up? Where's the flag?
Uh, what was that? Somebody said it was confirmed that the Chiefs and Chargers are playing in
Yeah,
Brazil.
Navman did.
Uh,
Yeah, that's the Brazil game. That's right. I forgot about that.
yeah, we'll play somebody.
We'll know tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, we'll know. Might play the Donkeys again. Who knows? We'll play somebody. So, it's going to be a home game or away game, our first game, because last year we played away. The year before that, we played away.
Yeah. Well, if it's somebody like the Giants, then that's playing that. Then we're at home because we're not coming to New York this year.
Yeah.
So that's a definite.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully so. Although I won't be there, but
Oh, I just hit 1,300.
nice. I'm
Just
still at
hit
150.
1,300 subs. Thank you, whoever just subbed and pushed me over. Thank you. Appreciate you all.
I'm still at 150. Come on, guys. Give me a 200, please. I'm still stuck at 150.
If you haven't gone over to Chris's channel, make sure you do. It's at Chris4Raiders. The link is in the bio down below. Go over there and subscribe, hit the notification because we do stuff just like this where we'll just pop on during the day.
Yeah.
Hit that like. I'm famous. Yeah, I wish. I'm not famous.
Somebody said something in the chat. I think it was Rock, or was that Bueno? Somebody said Shadur. Oh yeah, Shadur's throwing wobblers or wabblers.
Where was that? Oh yeah, right there. You got it.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot we're in the joint one, so you can highlight whatever you want.
He said he's a wobbler. Yeah, you mentioned that when you watched him in the pro day, he was throwing out wounded ducks out there.
Oh, there was that one throw that he kept re-showing all the time, and that thing. I'm watching the ball go by, and it's like going like this. It's like it looked like it was fluttering in the air. I'm like,
yeah. So we don't. Yeah, so we don't need another Garoppolo out there throwing wounded ducks at our players, man, getting them hurt. So yeah, we don't want that anymore. Because I was watching Geno Smith on the voluntary mini camp they had earlier.
Yeah,
those balls was zipping out of his hands. It was on target too. So we'll see.
Well, I do hate to cut this short, but
no,
dinner is done. We had said before we even got on we weren't going to be on for long.
Nah, we're good.
Just wanted to get on here, just say hi to everybody. We miss everybody. We haven't been on during the week, during the day in a while.
Thank you.
What's up, Indigenous? What's going on?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
We haven't been on during the day, like on our own show together in a while, so we wanted to pop on here and just say, "Hey, we're still here. How you doing?"
We haven't retired. We're still here.
Yeah.
It'll get better. Once the schedule come out tomorrow, I don't know if we're gonna do a live now. Everybody and their pop up
Well,
gonna do a live tomorrow.
that's what I'm trying to figure out right now what's going on because we have the Raider Connection show tomorrow night.
Okay.
So I messaged Leo. Might not hear back from him until tonight once he's finally home from work to figure out what we're doing because the show we usually go on at 10 o'clock, but the schedule comes out at 8. I kind of want to be on during it. I know there's gonna be a million and one shows on tomorrow, just
you know
just
that.
like there were for the draft and everything
Yeah.
else that has happened. So there's gonna be a bunch of people on doing their shows and shit.
Oh, yeah.
So I need to figure out what's happening there because if we don't do the Raider Connection tomorrow night, then I'm definitely gonna want to figure something out. But I will definitely talk to you and let you know what's going on. We'll figure something out.
Well,
Figure something
I'm
out.
good with that. I'm good with that. Because it's funny how they do now. They're doing a show on the season release thing. It used to be just get scheduled out and that's it. Now they actually doing an NFL show.
They've been doing that for a few years now.
Yeah, I know.
NFL Network's always done it. It's just a bigger deal. Well, it's another way to commercialize stuff and get more money. That's what it comes down to. The NFL draft used to be Saturday, Sunday, 2 long ass days. Now they started on Thursday, Friday night, and Saturday. Because it's the commercial money.
I'm about to reveal how old I am. I remember back in the day when they had a schedule release, I had to wait till the next morning's paper to see it.
Yeah, you're not lying.
Yeah, watch the late night news and they'll talk about your local team, but they had to wait till the paper.
Well, now as soon as the schedule's released tomorrow at 8 o'clock, everybody and their brother's going to be on ticket sites trying to get tickets already. I mean, by tomorrow night, most games are probably going to be sold out, or if you don't get your tickets early, you're fucked.
Right. Yeah.
That's the big thing. For me, I don't know what I'm going to do for the Patriots game yet. It all depends on when the game is.
Hopefully it's early. Hopefully it's
the last time the last time they were here that we were able to go to the game was 2014. I went, but I didn't even go to the game. I didn't have a ticket. We went and I helped with the run the tailgate and everything. But once everybody left to go in the stadium, my son and I stayed at the tailgate, sat with the car doors wide open, listening to the game on the Sirius radio. We just sat there and just listened to it. And he was running around the location we were in, just taking shit from people's coolers. We were just drinking for free all day long. He was hammered by the time we were done. He wasn't even 21 yet. It's fucking great day. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe we'll go on tomorrow during the day. What do you think?
I'm good with that. I got nothing to do tomorrow.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Well, actually, yeah, I can take my son to school with 2 or 4. Yeah.
No, fuck you then.
I gotta take my son. He needs education.
All right, everybody.
All right, guys.
See you all later. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you all. Chris, I'll let you end this.
Hey, thanks for the sub. Tune in tomorrow. We'll see what we're gonna do live. Tomorrow is the reveal for when we play. We know who we playing. We don't know when we're playing. So stay tuned tomorrow. We'll see. Jeff, any last words?
Nope. Stay safe and go Raiders.
Go Raiders.